Personality Theory at Work in Social Networks by Aaron Buck. Part 1. Adherence to Ethical Standards. To fulfill the requirements of this assignment in a manner that ensures my adherence to the standards outlined by the APA Code of Ethics, I've chosen to complete this assignment using a fictional character that is based on a combination of multiple social media profiles from Facebook friends and Twitter feeds. This character has been given the pseudonym E Pluribus Unum, which is Latin for out of many, one. The relevant standards of the APA Code of Ethics associated with the assignment include Standard 1.03, Standard 3.10, Standard 3.05, and Standard 4.10. Standard 1.03, conflicts between ethics and organizational demands. If the demands of an organization with which psychologists are affiliated or for whom they are working are in conflict with this ethics code, psychologists clarify the nature of the conflict, make known their commitment to the ethics code, and take reasonable steps to resolve the conflict consistent with the general principles and ethical standards of the code. Standard 3.10, informed consent. As Caufelt explains, analyzing public discourse does not require participant consent due to the public nature of the data. In contrast, the use of information about individuals with whom we hold personal or professional relationships poses a potential violation of Standard 3.10 by failing to obtain informed consent of the research participants. Standard 3.05, multiple relationships. Standard 3.05 of the APA Code of Ethics states that when a multiple relationship occurs when one enters a professional role with a person while also holding another role with the same person. As APA explains, multiple relationships should be avoided to reduce the potential for conflicts that can impair one's objectivity, competence, or effectiveness in performing their professional tasks. Lastly, Standard 4.01, maintaining confidentiality. While we have taken measures to ensure the anonymity of our subjects, there is still the potential for disclosure of details that could identify the subject of our evaluations based on our social media connections and associations. Additionally, incorporating previous knowledge about the subject into the evaluation risks violating the individual's privacy rights by disclosing privileged information obtained in settings where reasonable expectations of privacy existed. Student affiliate members of the American Psychological Association are obligated to adhere to the standards outlined by the APA Code of Ethics. In the event of a conflict arising between the demands of one's organization conflicting with the APA Code of Ethics, Standard 1.03 mandates that we clarify the nature of the conflict, make known our commitment to the ethics code, and take reasonable steps to resolve the conflict in a manner that is consistent with the general principles and ethical standards. Relevant principles associated with this assignment include Principle B, Principle C, and Principle E. Principle B, fidelity and responsibility, requires that we establish relationships based on trust, maintain awareness of our professional responsibilities to our societies and communities, uphold professional standards of conduct, clarify our professional roles and obligations, take responsibility for our actions, and aim to manage conflicts of interest to prevent the possibility of inflicting harm. Principle C states integrity requires that we promote honesty and truthfulness and not participate in acts of subterfuge or intentional misrepresentation of facts. Lastly, Principle E, respect for people's rights and dignity, requires that we maintain respect for individuals' rights to privacy, confidentiality, and self-determination. Moving on to our subject. About. E Pluribus Unum is a married parent of 3 occupying a successful career role in a professional organization with an altruistic mission. Current knowledge. My real-world experiences with EPU have ensued over a period of several years through acquaintance with shared friends of family members. The majority of our interactions have taken place in informal settings, and we've attended numerous shared social gatherings. In my personal encounters with EPU, I found them to be friendly, outgoing, altruistic, empathetic, humble, and socially oriented. EPU demonstrates strong moral and ethical values in both personal and professional domains, and their dedication to enhancing the well-being of others is evident in both of their spheres of influence. Personality profile, traits and type analysis. According to the 5-factor model of personality, EPU scores low in neuroticism and high in the domains of extroversion, openness to experience, agreeableness, and conscientiousness. Based on the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator personality instrument, I would classify EPU's personality type as ENFJ, based on their extrovert, intuitive, feeling, and judging strengths. Personality profile based on social media. EPU's Facebook profile displays many photos of their family and children, and they can be seen attending social gatherings, participating in sporting events, and traveling to different locations. EPU's Twitter profile is primarily focused on their professional role and the promotion of altruistic events and public endeavors. Nothing. Differences between profiles. The majority of the personality characteristics demonstrated by EPU's social media accounts remains consistent with those of their real-world interactions. However, one difference is the emotional responses characterizing many of EPU's posts on Twitter, indicating higher levels of neuroticism with their social media personality in comparison to their real-world personality. This aspect of personality conflicts with the stable emotionality EPU typically demonstrates in their real-world interactions. Complex model. Multipath approach. The multipath approach to personality considers personality to be comprised of 6 domains. The neuropersonal domain considers personality based on biological and genetic components. The interpersonal level of self is focused on cognitive functions. The interpersonal self is dependent on social and familial relationships. The exopersonal level of self concerns one's role in relation to the larger population and world. The ecopersonal domain is concerned with the planet and one's role within the environment. And the transpersonal level of self has a transcendental focus beyond the bounds of individual consciousness. Interpersonal rationale. As Apple and Kim Apple explained, the intrapersonal level of self is focused on the cognitive functions of personality and the thoughts, ideas, and beliefs one holds. Considering EPU's professional role and their high level of social influence, EPU's highly emotional responses toward issues of concern for the welfare of others is likely an effort to gain support for their altruistic purposes and to persuade others to support their causes. Linguistic evaluation. Research has found that individuals with higher levels of emotional stability more frequently use words related to enjoyable social activities, such as sports, vacation, church, team, and family functions in their social media posts. The prevalence of EPU's posts related to church, family, sports teams, creative endeavors, and family photos correlates with their low levels of neuroticism and high levels of openness to experience. More linguistic evaluations. Evidence of social maturity. Lexical analysis of social media posts show that the younger persons tend to use the word I more frequently in correspondences, whereas older populations more commonly use the term we in social media posts, indicating greater value on friendships and relationships. Despite EPU's evident maturity, their frequent use of the word I in their social media posts suggests lower emphasis on the value of relationships, which conflicts with both their real world and their social media personalities. Linguistic evaluation. Research has found that individuals with higher levels of emotional stability more frequently used words related to enjoyable social activities such as sports, vacations, church, teams, and family functions in their social media posts, which we've already discussed.
One
sec, I'm almost done.
Do we have insurance?
Usefulness of complex models. While analysis of one's social media characteristics can provide valuable insight into their real-world personality traits, Lassen et al. Described the limitations of predictive models, as there is no guarantee that the prediction of future values of the variable of interest will be reliable. While explanatory and predictive models of evaluating EPU social media posts may be useful for gauging aspects of their personality, the application of a complex model comprised of multiple levels can provide a more comprehensive evaluation of the factors influencing their personality traits. For more information on references, see the section attached to the discussion post. Thank you for listening.